I love this story because this guy threw us a curveball. You might recognize Andrew Brandt as the co-owner of the Phone Medic. He's a computer whiz, right? He's also a father with a gift for storytelling. And now you can read one of those stories. It's called The Treehouse. And it's available right now on Amazon. That's why the Phone Medic, Andrew Brandt, is in studio this morning. Andrew, how you doing, man? And thanks for bringing the book.
I'm so good, and thank you for having me on. I hope you enjoy the book. I hope you enjoy the story. It's a fun, adventurous read for the summer.
Okay, this came out of, for me,
right
out of left field.
Okay.
And I think this is really interesting. That said, without giving away too much of the book, what is The Treehouse about?
And you actually described it very perfectly out in the lobby, that it's the Goonies in a treehouse. It's three little boys who secretly build a treehouse in the woods outside of their neighborhood. Mm-hmm. They can't tell their parents that they're doing this. They're not supposed to be out there, but it's their hangout. It's their love. They want to hang out together and do this. And on one night, they see something they shouldn't see. They see a murderer bury a body out in those woods. And so now it's, what do we do? Can we tell anybody? We can't. And so whenever they discover themselves being chased by the bad guy is when that adventure begins.
It's a young adult mystery.
It is.
Why choose young adult?
I wanted to write a story that I knew that my kids would enjoy. Also a story that felt nostalgic to me. Now the story is set in modern day times, but it definitely has that feel of, like I said, the Goonies. I've had other readers tell me it reminded them very much of Stephen King's Stand By Me, those kind of stories that that have that
big praise, man. That, start throwing those around.
Right,
yeah.
that lighthearted adventure. Around a heavy subject. We are talking about human trafficking. We are talking about murder, but also that lighthearted adventure of three little boys who want to do the right thing.
Now, you did the research to make people not only think, but to also educate people on, as you mentioned right there, human trafficking, etc.
Right. I did quite a bit of research going into this story. Some facts in the very beginning, you see that 177 kids in Texas go missing every single year. And then there was a little factoid that out of 110 kids who were interviewed, 55, so 50% of these kids admitted to sneaking out at night. And so the story kind of came out of those plot points or those story ideas of what would happen if you did sneak out at night and you saw something you shouldn't have seen.
Now, how long have you been writing? Because everyone, or I should say a lot of people know you as the Phone Medic.
Right.
So when did this begin, this writing urge for you?
From the time I was very young. I grew up in the library. My grandmother worked at the library in Vernon, Texas, and so I had books in my hand from the time I was 3, 4 years old. I was reading at a very young age. I admittedly went through Goosebumps books at 3 or 4 a week. I remember my very first story was a Goosebumps style story where we had a story about a little boy who had a magic pen that all the monsters he created would come off the paper. So writing something I've always done. I was very hesitant at sharing this with anybody until it was completed. So now it's done, it's published, went through the editing process, now it's available for sale. Now we get to finally say, hey, come buy this book.
For your writing journey, what does this say for others, or what would you say to others, especially the young aspiring writer? For
the young aspiring writer, I admittedly have more stop-start stories on my laptop than I care to admit to. But to the aspiring writer, to someone who's writing, working on that story, who I hear all the time already, people tell me like, oh my gosh, I'm writing a book. I just haven't finished it. Just keep writing. Mm-hmm. Just keep writing. It doesn't have to be good. It doesn't have to be right. It doesn't have to be grammatically correct. Just get the story out. You can go back and edit it once the story's out.
Now, in about 15 seconds here, when you finished and you read it through, you made all the corrections, you said, okay, this is ready to go to print now,
right,
so to speak. Did you surprise yourself with the finished product?
I did. So whenever it was completely done, I got the author copies, and I sat down and I read the entire thing, hoping with the mindset of reading this for the first time. Mm-hmm. And I loved the adventure of it, and I hope the readers will too.
How do we get it?
You can get it on Amazon. It's available on Amazon now in paperback and on ebook. If you have Kindle Unlimited, it's available for free. I would say that the Kindle version is only $3.99. If you don't have that Kindle Unlimited subscription. So, for the price of a cup of coffee, you got a great summer read here.
Andrew Brandt, thank you very much. The Treehouse, here it is. It's a good read, man. Thank you so much for being in today, and good luck on this.
I appreciate it.
All right.